and they probably go usually about 45 minutes. I push record and there it is. It's on. So woo! Welcome out there in digital nomad land. This is KeeKee and Zarah, and we're going to be talking to you about, things that go on in the digital nomad lifestyle, whatever we got to talk about. And I can't wait to let you hear, and I got to hear about Zarah too, because you know what she's out there doing, people? She's living the van life. Hashtag van life. So, Zarah, tell our audience something about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you, KeeKee, and share this excitement for not being pinned down to anything or anyone. And it's funny. Here's a funny story. I made myself sick, so it was all I could choose because I needed to go into nature to heal myself. But now I realize I didn't have to make myself sick. I could have just chosen it. So anyone who's got a tickle of an idea, just take the easy route and just choose it. So now I have been traveling in van life since October, so 8-9 months now, and no plan, no agenda, no schedule. And you know what? The good thing about that is you don't get disappointed, because right now I just tried to check into this campsite for 30 days. That's the first time I'd be in the same spot for 30 days, and they try to change my location, and I was like, I have to be on this call, so we have to sort this out later. So I finally try to settle down for 30 days, and there's a glitch, but that's part of the fun of problem solving. And I love that I get to talk with my clients, from settings like this, picnic
Beautiful
tables, lakes, beaches, rivers. I really like the water. And so it's fun that I get to demonstrate making a crazy choice, because that's what I help my clients do. And sometimes a crazy choice is oh, I don't want to work a 9-to-5.
Right.
What else is possible? Or, oh, I am a singer and a musician, and how do I incorporate that into my life? Well, I've got some tips for you.
Yay! So tell me, you say you've been doing this van life for about 8 or 9 months now. So what made you decide, okay, I'm going to do life in a van?
Yeah, it's weird. And by the way, I'm not even in a van. I'm in an SUV. So it's my tiny house living. So that's a really good question, because what the fuck was I thinking?
Tell us. Do tell.
There was a workshop that I desired to attend in 11 days, or 8 days, from when I realized I had to get out of my house because it was making me sick. I have a history with mold issues.
Okay.
And so I had to get out of my house, and they let me break the lease because I was getting sick. And I was like, oh, if I drive to that, I don't want to wait 8 days and then drive 11 hours to this workshop for a week and then come back, when Houston was halfway to my friend who lived in Atlanta. So I was like, if I just keep going. So that was an incentive. That I wouldn't have to backtrack and waste time. So within 8 days, I got out of my lease, packed all my stuff up in storage, went just stopped by a car dealership and bought an SUV, had someone babysit my car so I could leave it there until it was sold. And I'm gonna grab my dog who's barking.
Okay. Zarah has Callie, her little dog. I met her dog when we were in Utah. So that's who we hear.
Callie wanted to say hi.
Hi, Callie. Hi, Callie girl.
So Callie sits on my lap the whole time we're driving.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really that tiny window of time where here's a great opportunity where I don't have to do something extra and look for temporary housing, or do I sign a new lease or not?
Wow.
Just shift it all and go. And that whole idea of putting my stuff in storage and not like waiting around to sell off stuff or even taking time to give everything away, like all those things take time, and storage is really cheap in New Mexico. So I just put everything in storage and went.
Okay, so now
Bugs
you've been
here.
doing this.
No one thinks I'm nuts. There's bugs.
She's outside in the wilderness, guys. Yeah, but okay, so you did it because you started this because you had a trip, a conference you wanted to go to. Then you wanted to visit your friend in Atlanta. But okay, come on. We're 8, 9 months in. What made you stick with it? Like, did you just decide once you got to Atlanta, okay, I'm going to go here and I don't want to backtrack? It just went from there?
Yeah, this is really, I feel like yesterday I had really good reasons for stuff. And then today it's like, this is nuts. So, I think the drive, this is a good sign too, because initially my driving force was, I'm so sick, I have to be out in nature, I have to breathe fresh air. So even though I was traveling across country, like I didn't stop in New Orleans because wait, what's this? New Orleans, because I was like, yeah, that's a like monumental city, but I'm here for the nature. So I had to remind myself a bunch of times I'm not here for
no food
in cities. What's that?
I said no food. I would have had to stop in New Orleans just for the food.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, good point. Beignets and stuff.
Oh.
So I knew I had to stay outside in the wilderness for my health.
Okay.
And so the other crazy thing is my cousin, this isn't the crazy part, but she works with an off-the-grid farm in North Carolina. And I had visited it like 10 years ago, and it's stuck in my mind. It's so gorgeous and unique, the trees and everything there. And so I had it in my mind, like, I'll go live there for the winter, outdoors, in the snow. And as soon as it hit 30 with a high wind, I was like, so Florida is 5 hours away, and it's 80 degrees there. So there's like, built-in prompts like that. So I went down to Florida. That was very smart of me.
I love that.
Yeah. So with all the snowbirds and the retired folks going south for the winter, I joined them.
Hey, the digital nomads, we can go where we want to because we're we're kind of like retired, right? We kind of like can be snowbirds. I travel just like you. I travel so that I don't see snow. Like if it's going to be snowing in your area, I don't want to be there.
What were we doing in Park City?
Crazy, right? Angela, it's just because we love Angela that we had to be at Ignite. Totally. I wasn't prepared, honestly. Let me tell you, Zarah, I wasn't prepared for Utah. In Salt Lake City, I don't know why I was thinking it was just going to be nicer weather. I didn't pack a heavy enough coat or nothing. I wasn't prepared. It's like when you live in California, you expect, it's like I forget that it's cold in other parts of the country. Right. This sweater, this means I'm cold. This is it for me.
Oh my God, totally, yes.
So yes. So tell me about the work you do with your clients.
So with my clients, I really love working with the people that are like, what the hell? This world doesn't make sense. I keep trying to fit in. I keep trying to play by the rules. I'm really good at, like, my clients are really good at observing and having awarenesses. And so it works against you if you don't know this key to flip it. So if you're like super aware of what are the rules and how to fit society, but it's still not working for you, the key to flip that is that you are not meant here to be here to fit in. You're here to fucking change some shit up. You're here to change. And so all those drones that go to work at the 9 to 5 and they're like, go home, go to sleep, have a barbecue on the weekend, go back to work. Like everyone who's satisfied with that, even though they complain the whole time, the rest of us are here to disrupt that shit.
Ooh, yes, like disruptive programming to get you to think. Like, I totally believe now. Okay, so I totally believe that we need employees, right? Everyone's. I had a girlfriend who said this to me once. She says, "Look, I don't want to be the chief. I'm good being one of the Indians. So I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is knowing that you have something more to give, to be, to do in this world, and denying yourself that lifetime. You know what I mean? Because it's like, take the leap. I mean, why not take the leap into something that you enjoy and that's going to give you bliss and make you fall in love and give you life, than to do something all day, every day that you despise and depletes you and that you hate? It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. None at all.
Right.
None. I totally believe that.
And the people that love to be employees, what if they had the courage to even disrupt that system? Like employers being the inspirational kind of facilitating a common goal of the company, and then each person gets to contribute their special talent. And so even if someone chooses to stay in like a corporate world and be an employee, there's still a way to harness this energy and this attitude of being a nomad, digital, like an entrepreneur for your job.
Oh, they call that an intrapreneur. I read up on that a couple years ago.
I get it.
Yeah. They do. Right. There are. So yes, people, did you hear that? Zarah and I came up with something for you. This is what it is. If you need to be in your job, if it makes you safe, it makes you feel comfortable, because everyone has different values.
Well, even beyond that, not just safe and comfortable, but like excited and joyful.
Yes, excited and joyful. You could be an entrepreneur. You don't have to forsake your dreams and your goals just because you work for someone else. So if you don't know what an entrepreneur is, look it up. Look it up. You got to do some work in your own life and do your own dreams.
So wait, there's a thread on that. So what if it's all about choice and you're choosing?
Yes.
And I found my history in corporate world is like, here's a job description, you apply for it and you have to stay within that box. And then here's another job description and you have to stay within that box. And if people like some innovative management that I would research, because like I knew something wasn't right? Like I was like, something else is possible. So in the corporate world, the extent of that was, what if you let your employees choose, like this person A loves this part of job B and vice versa. And so everything could get shuffled around based on everyone's strengths. And then if people are showing up, delivering their strengths and getting to be engaged with their strengths and
bliss,
igniting them, like that's going to be a benefit to the bottom line too.
Yeah.
So are we blinders on, head down, like not willing to even rock that boat of the corporate world because we're scared.
Right.
And even if you stay within that framework and you're not out on the road living in an SUV, you could still fuck some shit up. I
love it. Yes.
Like, what kind of revolution can be created there?
Oh, so we've opened up new light for you today. We just want you to know that that's a different tunnel being built and you could totally do it. So, right? So Zarah, tell me, what has been your greatest challenge so far on the road?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I keep spilling stuff and like that's the biggest hurdle is like just being, and I'm not a clumsy person, but I keep thinking like I would love to have those stories of like whatever, I had to persevere. But the things that really get to me is like I have to persevere cleaning up the spill. And like, I'm gonna say it because fuck it. I peed on myself. I threw up myself. Wait. I didn't pee on myself. I peed in the container I'm supposed to use when I'm in the woods at night, like not getting out of the van, and then that spilled.
Oh no!
So it's like, how do you get? It does not smell at all. Like I was like, why is it spilling? So I'm sharing that because, like, what's the worst thing you think's gonna happen?
Right.
I survived.
Who think you survived peeing on yourself?
And like early on when I was in Atlanta, I went to Stone Mountain. If anyone's heard of that, like it's the second large stone mountain area that, besides Mount Rushmore, there's a carving in the side of the huge rock. I didn't know until my friend in Atlanta showed me when we were in college. So I went to Stone Mountain and I had a bunch of T-pins, like sewing stick pins, and they spilled under the picnic bench bar that goes across the ground. So like they stuck, it would be hard to get them. And then I was like, do I leave this? What about my dog getting into it? What about little squirrels choking on stick pins? So that early on was my big challenge. And then
you make this sound easy. You make this sound easy. If all we got to worry about is peeing on ourselves, maybe in the middle of the night and spilling stick pins, I'm thinking anybody can live the van / SUV life, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what someone else would find challenging, but those are the things I find the most fun. Like, where am I going to sleep tonight? And what am I going to cook? Or stocking up water and other supplies like that. Yeah, what do you got?
Tell us about the cooking situation. Okay, because I'm on a boat, so I'm not very far from this living, right? So how do you cook? How are you preparing your meals?
So this last month I've done fast food, and that's why I'm sick. That's why I have this cough, and that's why I threw up at one point. So that's not sustainable. And I took a 3-week road trip in 2009. And when I was coming home, like I just felt so shitty because I had eaten fast food. And that's when I was in a sedan, so I didn't have this whole setup. But anything is possible, because at the beginning of this, back in November, when I was at my cousin's, I was camped outside of her property. And I was doing Whole30, which is a 30-day meal plan, basically paleo with some very specific like do's and don'ts, because it resets your system. So it's a very cleansing thing, but you're eating chicken and vegetables all day. And so I even signed up for a meal plan recipe guide, and there's like 100 ingredients to buy each week for all these meals, and like they were so good I could only eat 2 meals a day because there's so much food. But I was out there that's when I was in the 30-degree weather with my hot plate, because I had electricity, but it's very similar to, now I have a 2 stove
burner.
Camping stove with the propane things you buy, and so each canister lasts me a week of cooking. And so that's the 2 extremes. All fast food takeout, got really sick, versus the 30 days of making every single meal, and like everything was so good, like all the spices, and I really got into eating mushrooms sauteed. So that's my plan, being in the same spot for 30 days now. To focus on cooking. I'll have space to leave out my stove and everything. Just having a cooler and getting ice every 3 days.
Okay. So
And
you're getting it down to a science, or
I
you
went
have it.
haywire the other direction, and then I know how to do this though, to eat and cook, so I feel good. And
Okay.
so I guess one of the challenges, just like when I was single living in a house,
Uh-huh.
there's lots of articles about like, how do you cook for just one person, and like that whole strategy, because it'd be easy to cook for 4 people and they eat everything up the same day.
Right.
I was in a house, I could cook and then portion everything out, freeze it. So
Right.
that's one of the things to look out for in van life, with no freezer and questionable refrigeration. How quickly you get ice refilled in your cooler. So
I
I know,
like that.
yeah. Like if I go to the grocery store, if I could go to the butcher counter and be like, I'd like a quarter pound of beef instead of
Oh,
buying a pound
yes.
prepackaged, or like
Yes.
2 drumsticks or 2 chicken thighs
Right.
at a
Oh,
time.
okay. So, idea for you, because I've done this, because like I said, we live on a boat and we have a small freezer. So you can't, the pack of meat, it's 2 of us, but I'm imagining for one of you. So I have them, I actually will take them like the smallest pack, and I ask them to separate it. It's like, can you break this up for me? Because I mean, it's not like I don't want all of the meat. I want the meat. I just don't want it in the way you package it, because it goes bad in my freezer this way. I have to freeze it, unfreeze it, cook both too. No, it doesn't
Yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't work. So
Yeah,
maybe
the
you can
same
try
idea
that.
of planning ahead. Well, I don't have a freezer though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See,
We're
that's so
working on
you forget.
question
Yeah,
of no, no, no. I heard the
like
question about refrigeration.
you take for granted. Like,
Yes.
I got a mini growler of beer. Like, I don't usually
Oh.
drink beer, but this one was a pomegranate ale, and it was so good. And I was like, I'm gonna bring this because I happened to be meeting up with my sister and her boyfriend. And I was like, great, I'll have people to share this. So it was a mini growler. And I was like, so should I keep this? So they put it from the tap into the container right there.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
like a sealed, like beer that's out on display that's room temperature. So I was like, should I keep this on ice? And he's like, yeah, or in the fridge. And I'm like, have one of those. And I'll
Like, darn it.
just put, okay, yeah, in the fridge. So I went and got extra ice because this beer was so good. I wanted to make sure it wouldn't go bad.
That you can keep it.
Yeah, yeah. And so
So,
here's one other tip, is that
oh,
I did end up buying a cooler that plugs into the 12-volt like
ooh,
cigarette lighter, but
yeah.
it just brings the temperature down 40 degrees from
Mm,
relative to what's outside. And so that's great if you're driving and you want your stuff to stay cool, because you'll probably have on your AC. So
mm-hmm.
I did the math, and in New Mexico, if it's a 80 degrees minus 40 degrees, that gets you to the temperature.
Freezing, right?
Yeah. No, just chilled, like chilled meat should be at 40 degrees or
Oh,
lower.
okay. Oh,
For
that's cool.
steak.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Have you
get it
been
out
eating
without.
fast food or something?
Right. No. No. No.
You're
I
okay?
wish. I've been craving pizza for like days. Every time I I'm like, I want pizza. Someone says pizza, I can taste pizza. I love pizza. Pizza,
Yeah,
pizza.
with
But,
some of the beer, that'd be great.
right.
That beer I had. Yeah.
Yes, my beer, your
Well,
pizza.
I noticed that cooler, when I'm in a campsite or like Bureau of Land Management land, like out, in free land,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, what I have available to plug that 12-volt into is this huge battery pack that's solar charged. So
Oh,
cool.
wow.
But the whole thing is drained within like half a day to
Oh,
supply the cooler. Whereas
okay.
to recharge my cell phone every day, fully recharge my cell phone, it would last for 30 days.
Oh,
on the
wow.
battery pack. And then
Right.
the solar charge, I guess if I really wanted to, I could get 4 more solar panels, and that would equal the input and the output.
Oh.
Like $300 more. So I'm
You
not.
telling me you got solar energy living the van life? Is that what you're telling me, Zara? Solar energy?
Yes, it's so, I love when I know I'm talking on my phone or using my data based on this comes from the sun. Like right now, it's come from being plugged into my car while I drive. That's
Yeah.
currently. But when it's like this is sun power, that's really,
Yes. That's
yeah.
pretty freaking cool.
That opened up a lot of possibilities, and probably why I have less like challenging stories, because
Mm-hmm.
all like side note, it was really hilarious when I started camping was out in Atlanta and Florida, and all on the East Coast it seems like they supply electricity plus water to each campsite. And
Oh.
growing in California and going to Yosemite mostly, like there was never power at a campsite. And if
Right.
there was water, it was like everyone has to go to the same spigot in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of like 5 campsites.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole power thing was hilarious to me. And then when I came back west of Texas and did through Arizona and Utah, then it's like there's no like I didn't actually pay for a campsite that whole month or two because
Wow.
doing public land. So I have all the amenities of the electricity, and then I just get like 6 gallons of water. Like I reuse water bottles,
Oh, uh-huh.
and I fill it with like there's usually tap water at like a, a general source area, like before you go out into the land to camp.
Oh, okay. Okay.
To take a shower, wash dishes, and then I also had drinking water separate. That was like fresh spring water from
Oh,
the.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
do
there's
most of
really
the
no reason to pay for a campsite, is what I found.
Ooh. So how do you choose like where you're going in the land? Like where are you right now? Why are you there and where are you going next?
Oh my gosh, look.
I
Is this still
see.
this is in my
Where's your lip?
So right now I am at a campsite that has hot springs also.
Oh,
And
wow.
a monthly camping rate. So I was like, yes, please, because I would really like to focus on my business. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel that packing up and driving, even if it's an hour or 2 a day, but just the
Mm-hmm.
pack up, setup is a
Yep.
distraction that I can instead
Yes.
use that time to relax, do
Mm-hmm.
crochet, do jigsaw puzzle. And then the other time that I would be doing that is shifted to doing business stuff.
Makes
So,
sense.
yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in June. And especially with what you know what. Can I say you know?
Yeah, you can say you
If
know what.
anyone is interested in playing with us, KeeKee's generously sharing some prompts every day for the month of June for being visible.
Yay! Yay! I am going to have so much fun with that. We're going to have so much fun. It's just like, there are things in your business that we do, and you're back in your back cave, and we're in our offices, and we're planning all this grandiose stuff, and nobody knows what the hell we're doing in the background. We're going to come out, and it's going to be a grand show. I tell you, it's going to be a grand production. Well, right. And then all of a sudden we come with this grand production, and nobody knew what the hell was going on. So it's like, let's do this together. I want some company. Let's play together. I know that we're all out here playing in our spaces. And I saw that when I was talking about being more visible, other people were talking about like, I need to work on that too. I'm like, forget what people say about there not being support out here for us women in business. Damn it, we have support. You just got to ask for it. So yes. Anybody want to join us for the month of June? We got a visibility challenge going on. So hit me up. Hit Zarah up. Tell us. We'll invite you.
Show yourself. Yeah, and I've got to say it works because from another visibility challenge that was just a few days, I just posted the assignment. Like, I did the exercise and posted it last night.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend called me and said she wants to be my client this morning. Just because she saw that post. So,
Isn't it?
The accumulation of posts over time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, we had talked about, even when I know I was in my house, so it was 10 months ago at least, when I was like, are you ready to work with me yet? But it was this post that she saw this morning.
That had nothing to do.
Pop. Yeah. So.
Oh, I love that.
Time. And I showed up.
Oh, it really is about showing up for you and your business and not worrying about who else is or isn't. It's really about you. And I have always believed that the people you attract right here, right now, even when you say, oh, I want 25 people for this, oh, I want 30 people for this, if there's only one person who shows up, then honestly, the universe wants you to pour your heart and soul into that one person. Mm-hmm. It wasn't meant for 25 people at this given time. So it's just like, oh, I love the flexibility of being a digital nomad, for one. I love the flexibility of being in business for myself, for two, because it gives me the freedom to just do what the hell I want to do with who I want to do it, have fun, enjoy, and ease in my life. So let me think. I know you've given us a lot.
All the way.
I didn't hear you.
I didn't answer your last question all the way. If you want me to.
Yeah, I do.
Picking locations and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So that's the fun. So just what you're saying is reminding me of that same process. It's just like, what do I feel like doing today? Like, right. When I was in 30-degree blowing wind weather, I was like, I feel like being in Florida today instead. And then there's been some magic that happened along the way. So I, on purpose, do not plan. And my mom has learned that. She does not ask me, what are you doing next? When, what, who? Like, I'm like, Mom, you know I don't do that stuff. She like knows now. So we talk about other things when I'm driving and I want to chat with her. So, but like, when I was so I was back in San Francisco for a little bit, and I'm like, I know I want to get back to the Southwest desert. Like, my body really likes the arid heat.
Oh, okay.
And the dry air. So I was like, oh, if I get going by March 22nd, that's one of the last games the Giants are playing in Scottsdale, Arizona for the spring training. And like, if I'm going to go to Arizona, I better go when I can see a Giants game. So that's what got me out of California.
Oh, wow.
And turns out my cousin was visiting Sedona and parts of Arizona. So we met up.
Wow.
And met her daughter, my baby cousin, who's 10 years old now. So like that wasn't even planned. That was the best visit ever. And then I found out about Angela's event in Park City, Utah, because she guest spoke on my other coach's group. And I was like, well, I'm already going to be in Zion. So the only date I could get at Zion National Park was this one Sunday. And that was it. Like, there weren't other dates available. So I was like, I'll take it because there's a target. So I get these targets. So that's what got me paced to go through Arizona. And then when I hit Sedona, I go to Whole Foods because, one, they have a great bathroom. Two, they have Wi-Fi that's free. So you can walk around and grocery shop while you're downloading podcasts to your phone. And then they also have community bulletin boards. So there was a crystal fair that next day. So like perfect timing.
Right.
Oh, and I met another woman who was a bars practitioner, which is the energy work I do with access consciousness. And so I got to meet with her. I looked on the Arizona access group, like Who Wants to Trade bars. So it's fun, like what organizations or hobbies or activities are you engaged with that might have a local kind of club, or even if it's an online forum, and
That's
it's
good
like,
stuff.
hey, are you guys doing anything? Are you hosting? You want to get together and talk about roller skating? Like whatever your activity is, there might be something online, like a Facebook group or something on Craigslist that you could go, and it really feels like meeting up with old friends. So if you're on the road and you're like lonely and you don't feel connected, connect through your hobby or interest. Like there's local groups, and you know how like you get super psyched talking about something you're passionate about.
Yes.
It's gonna be an easy, instant connection. So I got to meet up with a guy who we traded bars. That energy work on the head. And so yeah, knowing that I had X number of days before I had to get to Zion for that one reservation, I got to pace out my time in Sedona and it was so fun. I left Sedona at like after 9 p.m. or no, like some 7:45, and there were signs that saying this highway is closed to get to Flagstaff at 9 p.m. like at mile whatever, and I was like doing the math with what mile I was at and how many minutes before 9 p.m. And for to get through this point, they're blocking the roads and doing road construction all night. I got there with 3 minutes to spare to go through. So I was doing up these windy roads from Sedona to Flagstaff, and it was so fun. Like, so that's where it could be like a hectic, like, if you make it, like, what's going to happen? But here's the thing. If you didn't make it, I would just, like, go back down the road till there was a pull-off and sleep right there. A lot of things that are issues with traveling, like not having a hotel booked or the flight planned, I've got the vehicle and I've got my bed right in the same spot that I get to drive. I get to do that. So that's another reason why there's not a lot of challenges. But I got right through to Flagstaff, and on a technology note, my phone, since my laptop died, there's no other backup for my photos, which like I'm taking so many awesome photos, seeing all these places. So I was getting everything on the cloud for the first time, iPhone cloud. It takes like 6 hours to download because I had so much data. So in Flagstaff, I camped outside of City Hall because there was Wi-Fi that was emanating from City Hall. And so I set my phone, and when I woke up, all my photos were backed up. So there's tons of places where you like search for Wi-Fi, and then getting to Zion, and then pacing myself till I got to Angela's event. And then my aunt was going to be out in Yosemite in California. So from Pennsylvania, and it's your second time in California, and we've lived there for 45 years. So pacing myself to get out to Yosemite. Yeah. And then here's something I'll share. Like, here's a very pivotal, like this shifted me. I'm a different person from before and after this. So I was like, okay, I'm in Yosemite. That's 3.5 hours from San Francisco, where I grew up. My family's there. I could check in with people. Like, I have some contacts. Maybe I could get some bars, classes going. Like, maybe. What? And so I'm leaving Yosemite, and I've gotten really sick then. And I felt like bummed, kind of depressed, like my drive, my ambition, my creativity was wiped out. And I was like, is it because I just spent time with family? Like, no, like that was kind of okay. And so what I finally realized was that I had made this decision to go to San Francisco in January, and now it's May. And And so there was a lag on what was current for me. And so by paying attention, like, oh, I made this decision in January and I didn't know I was going to already see my family in February. Like that was
Oh,
unexpected to fly out of San Francisco to Thailand and then spend time in San Francisco.
wow.
And I didn't know I was going to see them in Yosemite. So I saw my family twice.
Right.
And the reason I was going to go in January to be in San Francisco in June is because they got Hamilton tickets. And I was like, oh. And it took like a whole day for them to get them online, like, trying to buy it and get in to buy Hamilton tickets, right?
Uh-huh.
They're selling for like $600 or $800 if you didn't
Wow.
buy them face value, like to scalp them. They're like, everyone wants.
Whoa.
So here's my big decision. I was like, my body does not want to be in California. Like the air is too moist. San Francisco is very foggy. I got sick and this cough came back when I was in San Francisco. I don't really have the sense that building some business connections there is really going to pan out. It didn't feel light to me.
Okay.
And can I bite the bullet and say no thank you to Hamilton, which everyone else wants? So there's an example of like what you're supposed to desire, and like I had it. I'm saying no thanks. So I immediately drove from like an hour and a half south of Yosemite. I drove straight through. Usually I take like a day, or like every day I go 2 hours and like explore along the way. But no, I was like straight through to New Mexico. And I'm so happy I did it. Like as soon as I made that decision, everything shifted.
Wow.
Like creativity was back. I was excited again. So if something ever feels heavy and burdensome, like you don't even know what it is,
right?
Start checking what choices you are honoring that are not current. So
I like that, Zarah.
Like to choose today.
I like that.
Yeah. Even if it means saying, sorry, family, you're not going to see me.
Right.
Sorry, Hamilton cast.
Right.
You.
I'll miss you.
Yeah.
I'll miss you.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. Okay, so we're coming up on our time to go, but I want you to tell our viewers, I know you've given, hey, Cali girl, hey, Cali girl. I know you've given us a good advice, but what is that one thing that you've held back on for anyone out there who's thinking about becoming a digital nomad and they're scared to take that step? What could you tell them?
Well, if you're interested in it, what if you gave it a test run and a weekend trip, right? So a year before I did van life, I went to San Diego for a month. I was like, am I supposed to move to San Diego? And it felt heavy. But when I asked, should I go to San Diego for 1 month? It was like everything fell into place. It's very exciting. So I would be happy to answer any questions if anyone wants to reach out to me, because I'm putting together a booklet of how to get on the road without building out a van. So all these hashtag van lives, especially pictures on Instagram, there's amazing build outs with like a deck for the bed and underneath there's storage and all this stuff. All I did was get the SUV, put the seats down, and I have a very deluxe camping air mattress that goes along one half, and then boxes of my belongings on the other half. And I can't even have one of those camp mattresses because the vinyl makes me sick. So it's this special, like, it's just the ones that are thinner for camping, but they don't smell. So if you have issues like that and you want to be in the fresh air for your health and you're like, but I can't sleep on a vinyl mattress, there's alternatives.
Yay!
So, yeah, I would love to hear questions of like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? What do I pee into? How do I prevent pee spilling on me?
Yes.
Compile all those questions and include it in a booklet so that people can have access to that. but just
Okay.
basically test it out.
Yes. Now tell them where to send their questions to you at, Zarah.
All right, so you can find me Zarah Darling on most social media. Facebook public, so you can see me and message Zarah, Z like zebra, ARAHDARLING, and my email is Zarah at daringheartsclub.com. Z like zebra, ARAH at daringheartsclub.com. And I have a special offer for any of your listeners. If they probably
Bring
don't
it
want
up.
it. No,
No,
I don't know.
no, come on, just give it to them anyway. Just give it to them anyway.
Everyone goes to my website, zarahdarling.com. You can learn about a free session with me. I call it an untanglement call.
Ooh,
So
nice.
that's like all like this up in your head, and you're just like, I want to get away. I want to shake it. We can untangle that shit, and you can have clarity of like, oh, it's so simple. Everything's so simple once you untangle it. So ZarahDarling.com. Z like zebra, ARAHDARLING. Oh, do you hear that thunder?
I do. That sounds lovely.
That's
Only you and I.
about the Southwest. These like monsoons come on.
That sounds good. Okay, so you heard it here first in Digital Nomad Land. Get in touch with Zarah at ZarahDarling.com. She's gonna help you get all that stuff untangled and help you shake some stuff off. Did I do you good? So stay with us. Connect with us. You know where to find me in the Digital Nomad Cafe on Facebook. And I want to thank you for joining us. This is KeeKee Cornelious, Digital Nomad and Business Coach.
You're awesome.
Signing out. Thanks, Sarah. Thank you.